Hello and welcome to the Sunday Footy Show. It is great to have your company and great to be alongside these guys, Damo, Rory.
That man.
And of course, what?
You forgot my name just
I didn't. I was building the drama in that introduction there. I didn't know whether to go.
I'll get to soon why I think you did that to me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, can I go now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I was walking into the MCG, Dreamtime at the G, and TJ was being interviewed by some YouTubers. And they were interviewing him. They saw me. Did they leave him? And TJ goes, I'm still over here. So I reckon you're trying to get me back, TJ.
Mate, I was dumped like a hot potato. I became just so irrelevant. I felt like Nathan Brown for about 30 seconds. But Damo's here. How are you, Damo?
Oh, well, TJ. Look, I know Collingwood was top of ladder. Was meant to beat North Melbourne last night, but I was really impressed with their relative no-names who got the job done. It's a lot to like.
Yeah. And you like the Lions.
I did. They were very good. They got their hunt back. But midweek, I did take a little spell. I went to Bali quickly for a couple of days. But unlike Browny, no, I'm still here on the Sunday. Don't need a weekend off.
Oh, yeah, okay. Nice little driveway there. So what do? You just went to Bali to surf for a few days?
Yeah, a few days, the wife and I, just without the kids, actually. Wow. It was a little recharge.
Yeah, that cost of living squeeze is really hard, isn't it, the Rory household? Llordo is here, of course.
Yeah, great to be here. Look forward to your thoughts again on Ken Hinkley and Port Adelaide and where they go from here, because it's going from bad to worse.
Now, can I say, in all honesty, right, you really don't miss someone until they're not here. And I am missing Isaac Smith. Like I really am.
I got to have last weekend off because I don't get to see Jude play football, so I watched Jude play football for the first time, and my phone started pinging. Like, it was going off, and Christina looked at me because it was making so much noise. She's like, what have you done? Who is it? Just answer it. And then I checked it, and it's all these sponsors going, TJ's taken the quiz, TJ's butchered the quiz. Eddie texted me, Eddie Maguire said he's an embarrassment to game show host. So all these text messages coming through. Even Glenn Ridge got onto me. But look, let's go through it. I need to give you a little bit of feedback. So the start was okay. So let's have a look at the start, because you came on and some energy. Energy, it's good. The high fives.
So tip for that, Brownie.
Yeah, and then down the step. A bit worried about that one, but you got there and a little bit too much over here. So and then you were puffed. Then you were puffed. Okay, and then so good start. But it got worse. It got a lot worse, the quiz. And Sportsbet are thinking about pulling their sponsorship. That's how bad it was.
Which player... God, let me put my glasses on. Who played more games? Next question. Just let me put my glasses on again. Question 3. Is this a who am I? Yeah. Okay. Hang on.
Shouldn't be up to that yet.
Hang on. Question.
He's rattled.
Here it is. I got it now. No, because it's double-sided. They should be separate sheets.
Giving feedback.
Just an absolute train wreck. And it got worse.
Sorry, was that editing or is that actually how it happened?
It got worse. There's a little bit more here.
Oh, no.
That's TJ. I played for Catherine Hoyle from Hawthorn Dean in South Australia.
Yeah, but you didn't win, did you?
Yeah, easily.
Did you?
Yeah.
Give me a look at that. Can I have a look at the final
Won by
scores?
about 5, TJ.
What happened to you, Isaac?
Yeah, I answered a couple wrong and went backwards.
You did go backwards. Llordo's romped away with 8 there and Isaac 3.
Like, that is just embarrassing. Sportsbet put in a lot of money and you completely butchered it. Unbelievable. So I went out to the biggest of the big game show hosts to get you some feedback.
Hi, Tony. It's Tony Barber here, and I just wanted to give you a supporting call. Take the time, sit down before the show. Make a note of the questions in order and write it down the way that you can lucidly read it and move from one area to the other. And then nice deep breaths between each question. Don't take this setback as a big thing. Just turn the other cheek. Get right into it. And I know you're going to be fantastic. I'll be watching. Cheers, mate.
Well done, Tony.
Great, Tony Barber.
That is fantastic.
Did you feel good, though? Did you love that he butchered it?
Absolutely. That made me feel great. Because when I host when he's away, and Wimbledon's still a bit up in the air, I host really well and people give me a lot of feedback. So if you do go away, I'll be looking forward to hosting again.
Yeah, that's a little awkward. Yeah, I think they were looking at Sam McClure, actually, to fill in.
Browny, what TJ did say last week, though, was that he did it so badly he wanted to have another go this week on the quiz.
That's not happening,
and now that you're back, what's going to happen there?
No. Mark Miglerini, who's the head of marketing at Sportsbet, said absolutely not. Tony's out.
Not happening.
Is Mark? He used to work here years ago.
Yep, is he ripping fella? Head of marketing.
Is he? He's going to turn on.
Great Collingwood man.
No,
he probably pays for his membership, unlike you.
Actually, I haven't gone membership this year. I can't be a member of every club.
You're on top. Well, how are you don't have a membership?
Well, they can do it without my membership, can't they? I'm Port Arlington through and through. That's where my money's gone. They only got beaten by 102 points yesterday. Let's take a look at the results for AFL matches for this round of football.
The best game was Thursday night. The Cats by 14 points. And Essendon got over the job against Richmond. It was late. It was okay. The Giants beat the Blues by 28. The Brisbane Lions, that was an impressive win by 33. Collingwood, 8 goals to 1 in the last quarter. And the Dockers won by almost half a century.
Yeah, it was close at three-quarter time between Collingwood and North. Browny. A big last quarter there leaves them on top of ladder. Now, Brisbane, a couple of quiet weeks, a couple of lethargic weeks, but big win against Hawthorn keeps them in second spot. You can see the Suns still 2 games up their sleeve now as it currently stands. They've got a match today and they will stay there, you would think. And we get down to the Giants back on the winners list yesterday. Good win against Carlton. We flip the page and the problems are, as they have been for some time, down the bottom of the ladder with North Melbourne just not able to consolidate its win against Richmond last week, staying in second last spot.
Damo, Collingwood were too good again last night. It's why they're on top of the ladder, which you just spoke about. And everyone talks about their structure and their method. And that was a beautiful kick by Dan Houston. But look at North, all at sea defensively again. And they kicked 8 goals to 1 in the last quarter, Collingwood. And it's their system and their structure that just gets it done for them. And again, another player all at sea defensively. McDonald, young fella, gets the footy, kicks it over the top. I'm looking at Collingwood. Dacos has got the ball. Look at North. Broken down again, system-wise, 2 Collingwood players just sitting there, queuing up. So that's, again, another breakdown by North defensively, which Alistair Clarkson has never been able to fix in his time. So this one, ball's in dispute, holding the ball, pressure outstanding there. Their pressure rating was off the charts. Look at Luke Parker, who's playing on Jack Crisp. He's asking himself, do I want to go? Do I want to do the hard work nice and early? But he didn't do it, and it's too late. So you look at the 2 players tracking, and because he didn't get goal side and push Chris through the chest, then it's another shot for goal who just goes over the top. He passed actually to Markov, who kicks that goal. And I thought this is Collingwood at their best. What about this ball movement from Collingwood? They are all in sync, and they had so many players out who Damo's going to speak about. But is there better ball movement in the comp? I'll just say maybe you got the Brisbane Lions who do it consistently. And then this got embarrassing. They toyed with them by the end of the game. Look at that. 3 of them just queuing up versus 1, just rolled into an open goal. So Alistair Clarkson would have walked away saying, I just saw what the best looks like.
But I thought it was a damning loss by North Melbourne in that last 30 minutes because they had been okay to three-quarter time. And just have a look at this list of quality players that missed the game last night. Obviously, Braden Maynard down the bottom of that list there was ruled out of the game after it started. But the others, they either lost on the day of or in the lead up to it. And some of them are on semi-long-term injuries when it comes to Jordan De Goey. We haven't even put Tom Mitchell's name there. He's coming through the VFL and I think is in their best 22 once he's fit and up and running. But the Ned Long, 23rd game of footy last night, TJ. Ed Allen, the 8th game of footy. Will Hayes made his debut. Lockie Sullivan playing game number 16 and Will Parker, just his 6th game of footy. They were the ones who did as much damage as the established stars. And I think that's why that, from a North Melbourne perspective, makes it a really poor performance. Right. Given they finally come off a win last week against Richmond.
And I know Billy Frampton will be joining us on the program very, very shortly. And there's one question you want to put to Billy.
Yeah, I will. I'll ask. Can I save it for him, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to use it now.
Oh, you don't want to go with it now?
No, well, if you want me to.
No. You keep workshopping it. What about the Giants? I mean, it's always important, isn't it, to get it? I mean, it's icing on the cake when you can get a win for someone's milestone game.
And is he the greatest Giant that's ever been, Damo? Toby Green, obviously. Jerry
McCameron maybe.
But what a special player he is. And we've been asking about Toby a little bit over the last 12 months. He's been off slightly. But
a little bit more midfield time lately.
Yeah, 28 disposals, 11 score involvements, 3 goals. No answers whatsoever for this man. Lockie Whitfield went into the midfield as well, but what a loyal servant he has been for this club. Outstanding, and who would have thought he'd ever be the captain back in the day, but now he has the respect of the whole competition.
He needs to spend more time in the midfield there too. I love when he pinch hits a bit more in the midfield because he's so damaging.
What concerned you most about Carlton?
Look, Carlton last week, Vossi spoke about big moments in games, letting them down, and it's the key moments in games and the opportunities and the composure that they just lack in these sort of situations where that's Weddering as a backman, a leader of the club, that needs to go through. That's not a free kick at all. And here, composure would look like get up, stand up, own the ball, run and carry. If I think of the best backs in the game, you got Dacos, you got Houston, they would run and carry that ball and break some tackles until they could find an easy hit to relieve that pressure. Instead, they're just going for jack kicks. And again, we talk about big key moments. The Giants get their first opportunity here for one. All it takes is a little tap to Jesse Hogan, who finishes that nicely. Now, this is another key moment which I like. Paddy Cripps actually reads this really well. Switch of players on. Carlton are out here. That ball goes to the middle of the ground. It needs to keep going to the opposite side where Carlton can get an inside 50 mark. Instead, they try and kick it through the car door window, which the kick is just never on. And the last bit, stoppages. You must be composed. You must be organised at stoppages, especially late in games. You want to do your body work. Hewitt misses a body work, but you can't let teams come out the front of a stoppage. Shoulders out, we always speak about, but that's an uncontested mark to the skipper, Toby Green. And Carlton lacking some real composure in those key moments, and they're 4-7 for a reason, Browny.
They're a fantastic contested footy side. So week in, week out, you can't question what they do contested side because they win it every week. But it is hard work from there because they don't win enough uncontested footy. So the game has changed to clubs who can move the ball quickly and efficiently and not be touched by anyone. It's almost like the old bruise-free football by using the ball well. Carlton don't get enough uncontested footy. Down by 18 yesterday. Their best win this year was against Geelong. They were plus 75 uncontested footy that day. That's only one of the times they've won it this year. So contested footy, yes, but they've got to start winning uncontested footy to make it easier for their inside 50s.
And I hope I was clear with that point. They're getting the opportunities, but they're panicking with ball in hand. That's when the best players, they run, they break a tackle or two, use their hands to get that uncontested footy.
So, Damo, the go-to villain for Carlton fans, whatever the era, whatever the circumstance, is always the coach.
Yeah, it is. And Michael Voss does need to find some answers, TJ. They've got the bye this week. They're 4 wins, 7 losses. And I suppose the words that come out of his mouth after each loss, they're similar to the previous one.
Drifting into September right now, as you can imagine, is probably the furthest thing from my mind. It's taking a break, getting a rest, coming back together, putting the problem on the table, solving it together collectively as a group, resetting ourselves and bringing new energy and getting after it.
So Jagger Smith will be a huge inclusion next year, who was the number 3 draft pick that they moved heaven and earth to get last year, to get something different in their midfield. So that's a big area they need to fix. No half-back flankers. So you look at what Gold Coast did, bringing John Noble and Daniel Rioli in, made a massive difference to them. They don't have running half-backs, they don't have speed through the midfield, and they don't have a small forward. So their list is all out of whack, all out of shape, and that's something they need to address over this next off-season.
All right, so the Giants got it done for Toby Green in his milestone match, and it was also a milestone match for Chris Fagan at the Lions.
Yeah, what about the respect they have for him? And Damo, you know Chris Fagan better than anyone, but 200th game as coach, and they just love and adore him.
The man who never thought he wasn't a coach when he got to the age of 54 and hadn't, but now he's made 6 consecutive finals in a row. He's made the past 2 grand finals. He didn't want to soak up his 200th match milestone, but the players that he has now got to love and have the ultimate respect from forced him back out there, and that was very typical Chris Fagan in that moment. And a massive win, wasn't it? A massive win to beat Hawthorn in that stage.
I think Dayton Zorko said after the game, all they wanted to do was try and make him feel as awkward as possible. And they certainly did that, didn't they? But,
and Charlie Cameron in the post-match interview with Sarah Jones, I think it was, kept referring to him as the old man. And Sarah said, I don't think he's going to appreciate that. He said, no, we call him that all the time.
But one area that the old man wanted to get back was their hunt and their pressure. And if we have a look at these stats, plus 38 tackles and plus 18 contested possessions. That's a combo normally. And if you're that far ahead in those areas, it's huge. And the clearance numbers, Hawks aren't super in anyway, but when you're plus 17, they're doing some damage. So they got their hunt well and truly back.
Look, I reckon it was only a hiccup they had. They had a draw against North Melbourne in a Sunday afternoon match in Hobart. Draw. They didn't lose. And then they were in front of Melbourne until 3/4 time or thereabouts last week and then lost that. So you take out those 2 matches when their, I suppose, motivation levels may not have been through the roof. That's all they've done wrong since the premiership.
Yeah, I made the big mistake last year of writing them off and they went on and won the premiership. I still think they're the team to beat. So everyone's talking.
More so than Collingwood?
Yeah, I do. And I know you went with it, that there's... What were your exact words?
Head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, that's a when you got Brisbane sitting there. I think Brisbane...
Well, mate, I'm happy to have a bet with you.
What's that?
A bowl of soup over at platform 28.
No, but you can't say what you think that they're a class head of shoulders above.
Collingwood?
Anyone. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, the Brisbane Lions have more talent and young talent.
I think actually Collingwood head and shoulders. That's the whole point with Collingwood. It's the head and shoulders, but also the fact that they're able to.
That just won a premiership, so they're pretty mentally strong too. The Brisbane Lions.
I'm happy to put this conversation in the time vault.
Okay, so am I. I think it's far too early to say one team in May is head and shoulders above the rest.
Big fan of James Sicily, but you've got to ask the question, is he playing hurt at the moment? Because he's got no power. He's okay when he has to defend one-on-one at the moment, but here's James Sicily pushing up, and he just allows his player too much space. So that means Barrass has to go to his player, which means Archie goes there. Now, his defending is synonymous with how Hawthorn are defending at the moment. So here he is again on Archie. He's got him covered there, but just allows him to go. This is Hawthorn at the moment, just allowing. This doesn't result in a goal, but this is the way James Sicily is operating at the moment. So this is him at half-time speaking to Sarah Jones on Fox about the way they need to defend.
Your own game, what can you do to get more involved in the contest?
Yeah, I'm trying. It's a hard one because they aren't contested marks and they build it up. So I need to try and get line of ball maybe a bit more and just make sure when I'm in a contest, be strong and make them count. Yeah.
So when he is in the contest, he is strong and he does make it count. This is the first one after half-time. So when he's one-on-one and he's got his opponent, absolutely, that's why he's so good, James Sicily. But outside that, James Sicily, here, he's in front of a Calamar-Chi. But have a look at what happens. He cannot go. He's got no power at the moment, which says to me either he's choosing not to defend or he's injured. Now, that is way too easy for a player of his calibre. He kicked 4 goals yesterday, was the best man on the ground. Sicily again here, trailing into the back. That's okay, that can happen. But have a look at what he does now. He should be getting back into the hole, but he's just floating. He's got no power to get back and get into that hole. So again, ask the question, is he injured? And again, the last one of the game here, they win the footy back. Where is his positioning here, James Sicily? I'm not sure what he is doing right there at this point. He's not forward, he's not back. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's injured. I think he needs to have some time off to get his body right because that's not the James Sicily we've become accustomed to.
Browny, I feel you're right. I do also believe he's got an injury problem. I think it's in the groin zone and the club is asking him to play through it. That's my take on it. But the emotions are always something that are very close to the surface with James Sicily. Now, you can look at the score and you can probably argue the game may well have been lost by then, but it certainly was lost after this moment. I feel the free kick that was played against James Sicily in this moment was the right one, but he wanted to query it with the umpire, and we know what happens in that situation. You then get a 50-metre penalty paid against you. Gimme goal, guaranteed goal. You can see the margin there, 32 points. They're not coming back from that stage. So the emotions that are attached to his play, they embraced it last year, TJ. They loved it. It hasn't worked for him or them this year, and they're in a... Look, they're 7-4. They've still done enough work to make something of the year, but it's just not working from the James Sicily perspective at this stage.
Why would the club be asking him to play through with an injury?
I think every player plays through some sort of niggle. I don't... Again, if he wanted to stand down, he would.
If it's being so detrimental to his game, as highlighted by Nathan...
Is it the injury that's detrimental, or is it the, I suppose, lack of... Look, I'll put purpose into this conversation with Josh Battle and Tom Barrass coming in. It was going to be the off-season narrative, and it was. How would he fit into that dynamic? They're yet to bet it down right now, as much as they are 7-4, and will be okay with that, but they're not beating the better teams to this point.
Yeah, they've beaten one team in the 8, but... you put a lot of heat on Sicily then, but as I mentioned before, they went minus 17 in clearances and minus 18 contested possessions. There's a lot of ball coming in, and he's under pressure, and that can eventually mount on your back.
You saw those edits. If you were still playing as captain, would you be happy with those efforts as a captain, what James Sicily put up then?
No, and those efforts, no. But I'm saying the ball's coming consistently and that quickly from a very good Brisbane midfield. Eventually that pressure topples over.
Llordo?
Just on that part of it, yeah, I think that the team you love and I respect too is Collingwood, and you don't see behaviours like that in James, even the 50-metre penalty and things like that he's giving away. He's the captain, and I think sometimes you saw Josh Battle saying, come on, calm down, control. So I think he either goes forward maybe this week or I agree with you, give him a spell.
Right, big match, isn't it, Friday night against Collingwood? Massive for so many reasons.
Plus 90?
It could be, couldn't it? Yeah. High 80s, I'd imagine, yeah.
All right, tell us about the Dockers.
Well, they just beat up on Port Adelaide, yeah. It's a really good win for them. So, yeah, I've been slow to come around to Fremantle, but it's been a really good fortnight for them to beat the Giants in Sydney and then smack Port Adelaide. And Luke Jackson, no coincidence sometimes, where a player goes out and the team can get better. So I'm big on this. Ruckmen don't want to share it. So they feel better when there's just one and they are the man. So I don't think it's ever... We know what Max Gawn's like. He doesn't want to be sharing it with anyone. And I think Luke Jackson here is far better when he's the man.
No, I completely agree. And the last 2 weeks have been good. I think there's been a shift of ball movement at Fremantle. It's been the last 3 weeks we've seen the ball go through the middle of the ground much more. They're taking more ground through the middle of the ground, which they haven't done before. They've always been a slow build-up around the back, chip it around the back line, but the last few weeks definitely been more through the middle and one of the faster carrying sides in the competition, and it's working for them.
Browny, the landscape has changed with how the game views such moments which we're about to play. Alex Pearce, Fremantle captain, making contact with Darcy Byrne-Jones. I have sympathy for what it's worth when it comes to what may happen to Alex Pearce here, but we know what the game has done historically recently when these types of moments happen. He's certainly facing, as we talked this morning on a Sunday, a match review office ban. I don't know exactly what he's meant to do in that situation, Rory, but we know the way the game now views that.
Yeah, and if we watch the footage again, I don't know if we can get it up and have a look when it slows down, but his eyes are on the ball the entire time, right until the very last moment where your peripherals take over.
This next angle, this one.
This one. Your peripherals take over, you see a body coming towards you, so naturally you're going to look at the player who's coming towards you. And Alex has no other option but to try and brace up, and I think he's going to be, unfortunately, given 3 weeks going off the back of what we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, I agree with both. Yeah, it's tough. You're a defender and you go, and then you commit, and at the last second you see that you brace yourself. So, likewise, he'll get 3 weeks probably, but you feel...
Doesn't seem right though, does it?
No,
3 weeks.
It doesn't.
And we understand the messaging that needs to be part of the decision.
Will it be graded unintentional? It's got to be, based on that vision that we highlighted
has to be unintentional.
Yeah, but we know that it's outcome driven, and there was a nasty head moment there for Darcy Byrne-Jones.
Albeit unintentional from what we could glean from there. I said in the introduction there that you've got serious concerns about...
I do, TJ, and I was slow maybe to get to this point. I mean, others on the panel were negative on this succession plan, the Josh Carr replacing Ken Hinkley situation. I was adamant, just from the outlook of it, that they would wait until they mathematically couldn't make finals. Now, they're not at that stage yet, but what I am now worried about, and what I have changed my mind on, is that score against in those 4 matches that they've lost. Now, we've thrown the Fremantle game in there because that was a 49-point loss yesterday. Those other ones prior to that were massive losses. But have a look at the respective scores after half-time. 70 shots at goal they've conceded after half-time in those games to just 24 shots at goal in the same period of time. So a lot of those games are being lost even before half-time, and they are just giving up after half-time. They've got to buy this week, Brownie. I feel this board now needs to sit down, revisit the decision it made quite courageously at the start of the year. If they think it's working, come out and say we are all in for the remainder of the year. But it's a nice, I think, break in the season.
Do you think they need to address it?
I think they need to address it. They need to address it internally, and I think by extension of that, they should address it publicly as well, just to reset, at least to... Because it's not... They are drubbings. They are drubbings, and their players aren't responding to the Ken Hinkley message.
But haven't they addressed it over and over again and I've continued to hear the messaging from Port saying, no, we're going to back Ken in, we're backing this plan in until the end of the year?
That's fine until you get 70 shots at goal against 24 after half-time of matches you were supposedly meant to be winning.
Yeah, that's a damning stat, but you're saying they need to address it. I'm saying they've been addressing it nearly every week for the last 3 weeks.
And also, too, once you've made a decision for the future, get to the future right now. They have made a decision where Josh Carr's the future. This season is slipping away.
So you're saying Ken should be gone over the bye and Josh Carr takes over?
The club itself, I think, needs to get its own head around that. What purpose are they serving now? And again, I realise, Brownie, I'm late to this. You had this view at the start of the year.
Yep.
I'm now there, but I'm on the back of what they're doing in those matches they're getting belted in.
I just thought it was set up to fail at the start of the year, the way they did it.
Yeah, and now I'm at that point too.
But you're over there, so your belief is they'll see this through because...
I think that's what I've heard for the last month.
Yeah.
But don't I'm incredibly wrong.
Dreamtime at the G on Friday night. This is an opportunity, of course, to celebrate everything in terms of a contribution from Indigenous footballers. And there have been so many marvellous footballers. In fact, some of the best footballers have been Indigenous, and they continue to do this so well, both Richmond and Essendon Football Club. It was a concept devised by Kevin Sheedy about 21 years ago, and it was terrific. First time we've had it on a Friday night, and I thought it was great. But as I said, it was all about celebrating the Indigenous culture. If only one man had have actually realised that.
Oh.
I'm talking about you, Matthew Lloyd. Right, before the game, we did a piece for 9 News. Matthew's capacity as a 3AW commentator. We had a little bit of a chat there. And, well, Matthew did what only Matthew can do, and that's bring it back to himself.
Yeah, he's a great person. He's one of the guys that made me feel most comfortable when I first got to Essendon, and even on the field, you know, when I was trying to get to 100 goals, he was the one that kept feeding the ball to me because he was happier than I was probably in the end of it. So he's just a wonderful person, both on and off the field.
Mate, you've turned it into an art form, haven't you? The way you brought that back to yourself then in 100 goals.
Because I'm hoping you'll get some clips in and just how long he was giving it to me on that day.
So we're talking about Michael Long. We're talking about Michael Long.
He's just a team player, mate.
I was trying to do the right thing, but did blow up in my face.
How'd you go coaching yesterday?
Went well.
Team won?
Yeah, we won. Had a good.
Did you make some good moves?
I was pretty happy with that.
No, but that was like a top of the table clash. Was it Caulfield?
Yes. It was a great game. We were able to win a tight one. Yeah.
The Bombers have got as many wins as the Western Bulldogs, who many people see as a premiership threat this year. And I say that because they've actually played one less game and won't make up that game until around 24. But in this game where they beat Richmond, they've lost, again, another quality player in Cole Langford, who just has not been able to get things going this year with the soft tissue, and that's a quad injury officially. And I'll say probably the bigger problem because of the key position player in Zach Reid, who you can see on the bench there as well. Now, he suffered another hamstring problem, TJ. It's a different problem to the one that had kept him out of a lot of footy in the last 3 or 4 years. But have a look at that list now that is of key quality players on the Essendon list now out for a very long time. It's going to be hard now for Brad Scott to keep this team up. And you factor all that in with how you assess Essendon in 2025.
Yeah, and the worry for me, Sloaney, is that the same blokes seem to get soft tissue. So Jordan Ridley, it's just gone on and on for him over his career. Langford, it's becoming constant. Zach Reid had a little good run at it, but he's been injured a lot of his career. And Darcy Parish just can't get a good run at it as well.
Can they win another 7 games this second half of the year?
No, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah. What I saw in that first half, to me, the skill level of both teams looked like 2 bottom 6 clubs going at it. Yeah.
Cardinia Park on Thursday night. This was a contest worthy of September, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And we knew it would be. There was a lot of hype and build-up around this game, Llordo. But that man there, Jeremy Cameron, and I want to get your views on their forward line in a second because we know how pivotal Danger's been for the first part of the year and so keen winning some of those games. But Jez has been in ripping form, so was Shannon Neal as well. So what do you see their forward mix going forward?
Well, I think, and I'll give credit to Josh Jenkins here because we played it on Footy Classified when we first heard it because he's a former teammate saying that Dangerfield doesn't play to a system, so it can affect others. So we've seen some. So I think when Danger comes back, I'd play him in the midfield a lot more. They didn't play him at all in the midfield. So I think it has to because, Damo, I've been critical of how they played Jeremy Cameron because I say you've got the best forward in the game and he's been centre bounce, he's been wing. Get him down there. And I saw something in Shannon Neal the other night that I'd never seen before in terms of the commanding way he played the game, kicking 5 goals.
Special player.
So he's now kicked 13 goals in the past 2 weeks, Jeremy Cameron, largely on the back of Dangerfield going down in the previous week, and he's got West Coast this week.
Stengel played okay as well.
So they were percentage-wise, we're going to Jeremy Cameron 19% of games when it should be, in my opinion, 25 to 30. So that's what he should get from this point on.
It's coming up to quarter time on the Sunday Footy Show. We've got a massive 3 quarters ahead of us. Billy Frampton's going to be joining us. Also, Tom Papley. Who signed off on this one?
Yeah, it's good.
Can't wait.
He did.
He
He's excited too.
Yeah.
He's excited.
Well, no one ran it by me, and it might have been a different answer had it been run by me. Battle of the Joshes in the Handball, Weddle and Gibcus, and also the deep dive.
Tough name sometimes to say that one.
Say what one?
Josh Gibcus.
I wouldn't have thought so. It rolls off the tongue pretty easily. And also Media-Ocre is back. Nathan's back and we're
better than ever.
Now, is there somebody making his or her debut?
There's debuts everywhere, so take it for what it is. It's a bit of fun. We don't get too serious about it. Yeah, enjoy.
Okay. Caro. All right, let's roll the opener now because it is time for What Caught My Eye. And Rory, the king of comedy, you're going to kick us off.
Am I leading this off again? I must be doing a good job. There you go. Well, I've dipped my toe in animal facts in Damo's area for some mixed reviews, but I'm not the only one that has dipped my toe in some animal facts. Let's take a look.
So I went to the servo, and the dog's in the passenger seat.
No, come on.
I've pulled up alongside the Bowser, and he is right alongside the Bowser that's on that side of the car. As I take the nozzle out of the Bowser, he just loses his proverbial, right? And he's and I'm looking around to see if there's something going on, right? And he's looking at me through the window, barking, right? And I'm like, this is really weird. And I thought to myself, is he trying to tell me something? Anyway, I looked at the nozzle and I was about to put unleaded petrol in my diesel tank.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, you ripped me for saying, I've taught my dog to play fetch, right? And you expect me to believe that you've taught your dog to tell the difference between unleaded and diesel?
No, I didn't. No. You only played the first 10 minutes of that.
Real glass eye stuff as well, wasn't it? Oh, my dog went to Bowser and the...
I don't expect everything.
Listen to some of the dribble you go on, mate. Look, I know you're only clinging to your job.
Half your audience are asleep already anyway. The rest of them fell asleep.
This is why Jay Clark, right? I can't stand you.
It's personal. Why don't we get some bread out for the whales off the platform again?
You really are just clinging at the moment.
There's so many things we're not allowed to say.
Some of us don't fall for, we're not that gullible, but some of us are when it comes to animal facts too.
Tom's given us a call from Warrnambool. G'day, Tom.
Hey, Tony. We've got the whales here at the moment.
Yeah, oh, beautiful. How far off the coast?
It's not that far. I bet take the kids down to have a look. They've got a bag of bread they're going to feed them.
Hang on, how close do you get?
Yeah, you get to pat them and you can feed them bread, old-style bread.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the whale viewing platform.
No, I've not heard that. I mean, so, Tom, this might be a stupid question. You can actually walk out onto the viewing platform and hand feed the whales?
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, can you get some video for us? Wow.
Oh, I didn't say the whales have been edited on the end.
You got aggressive with the producer then too.
No, I didn't. I just said get some original stuff, right? Instead of rehashing
It's
the
new
same.
for me, TJ. It's new for me. It's new for me.
Oh, sorry. Did you not watch the show until you?
Can you just admit though that you made that story up about your dog? Tell the difference between diesel.
No. I never said he was telling me the difference. I said he was alerting me to a potential problem.
But you seriously can't.
I don't believe that he was telling me.
You made it up for radio. You lied.
I didn't lie.
Yeah.
I didn't make it up.
Stretch the truth.
You embellished.
Listen, mate, I'll knock you off that chair. Right?
No, you won't.
I'm not saying he knew the difference between unleaded and diesel. I'm just saying there was an incident there, OK?
More holes than Swiss cheese.
Come on, it's your go, mate.
Now,
get yourself together.
Now, I do like Damo. Damo gets good mail. I also get mail. And I got this letter when I arrived here this morning, addressed to Tony Jones Esquire. And it's from a lovely lady named Anne-Marie Wardrobe, who lives in New South Wales. She says, "Hi, Tony, a quick note to say how much the footy show is so enjoyable and my only link to the AFL world because, as you say, we are not online and have no access to the games of our choice." And she goes on to say at the back, the AFL sees fit to cancel Saturday footy. Thank God for your show. Sincerely, Anne-Marie Wardrobe, Yamba, New South Wales. P.S. Nathan's got to go.
I reckon that the handwriting on Nathan's Got to Go is different.
Okay.
Let's get it up again.
Okay,
Let's get it up again.
No.
So it's going leaning to the right all the way, and then you get down to the bottom. All of a sudden, it's got a bit of a left lean to it. It's got a left lean to it. The PS, Nathan's Got to Go. I'm saying you've lied about the Bowser, and you've written on that yourself.
No, there is. We'll get a handwriting expert.
Handwriting.
We'll get a handwriting expert in.
You've had a shocker. You've had a shocker.
She's actually gone to great lengths to print that, so I don't get it wrong. Okay?
All right, I'll let you off the hook here, TJ, because no one on this and Channel 9 programming sets a higher benchmark for content than our man Llordo. And he's particularly invested in what caught my eye on the Sunday Footy Show and the closing cook on Monday night. But he doesn't always hit the mark. Sometimes he misses, as he did Monday night just gone.
Damo came in last Monday demanding that he wanted to roll some stats out for the Western Bulldogs. And here is Damo demanding he takes my stats and my place, going through the numbers, and here it was.
Particular focus, please, on the last two there, the inside 50s per goal and the percentage of goals per inside 50.
That question you threw to me, they were both the same thing. So Damo threw at me that those last two numbers, and they were actually the same thing. So we'll take a look at that one more time.
Particular focus, please, on the last two there, the inside 50s per goal and the percentage of goals per inside 50.
So you threw me there, Damo, because that was exactly the same number, and I was trying to justify that question you threw to me. So,
come on, Llordo.
Thank you for throwing me under the bus there.
What about your worst clothing?
Llordo, you confuse me. Look, when you've got to replay something, you know you're in trouble. So that was a cricket's Lloyd moment. It wasn't your worst, though, when it comes to what caught my eye. We're going to go back about 3 or 4 years ago. There was a little lame attempt at some hume here relating to Tommy Bug.
Tommy Bug was the villain on Friday night, but I didn't think there was any need for him to be transported out of the MCG in this fashion. Let's take a look.
Oh, let's have a look.
Yeah, where's the funny bit?
Where are we, Llordo?
Producers, I shouldn't have gone.
Exo
was meant to
pest.
be a close-up of the pest control.
Oh,
So can we get a close-up?
Even Billy had no idea.
I'd forgotten what you looked like before you started doing Botox.
Very tight panel back then.
No,
very tight.
You know why I'm nervous, TJ? Because you said I want original stuff. Throw to my first one.
Nice and sunny for the weekend.
You should come round for a barbie.
Thanks.
Okay.
No, I'm a coach of a football side, and I say learn the first time. I'll take one mistake, but don't make a second. All right, you may find your way out of the team. Well, you've gone there again, TJ. He went there again this week. Beck Judd said no, and now he's had a try with Alicia Loxley.
Parma Days this Thursday, $22 Parmas, and we expect that both levels will be sold out pretty quick.
Job of the day.
Very hungry.
$22, that's cheap.
It is cheap, yeah.
Yeah, that's on Thursday. Do you want to...
Maybe. We'll check the diary.
Okay, would be a no.
I just leave it maybe to Tommy Morris or something, I reckon. Maybe just ask Tommy Morris or someone. I would not try. Well, let's move on anyway.
Have a look how flat he is.
I haven't seen TJ like this yet.
I want to give you a cuddle. It is really the most puerile, like tenuous links that
But
you
that's
could
new
possibly...
content, though.
But
That's new content.
That was this week.
Yeah, it was this week.
So that's
Yeah.
serious then.
Yeah, okay, all right, fine.
I feel like I want to offer you a dinner. I'd love to come to dinner. I feel really
Mate, mate, I'm going like a bastard.
I'm that happy with my last one. I'm going to go to the plasma for this last one.
Here we go.
So, Pretty Deledio, one of the favourite teammates of mine, had this to say about Collingwood fantastic defender Jimmy Clement.
Players that play for both sides.
Jimmy Clement. James Clement. I didn't realise James Clement played for
He was a
Fremantle.
tough matchup, Jimmy Clement. Very good player.
A tough matchup, Lids. I seem to remember I was the one that used to play on him. So let's have a look at where you are. So here's me and Jimmy, and here's you out the back there, Lids. So this is the first of the 5, okay? So we go to the second one. And here you are, Lids, here. This is you, and this is me and Jimmy down in the goal square. So this is number 2, Lids. So he was a hard player to play on, but I actually played on him. And now the third one. So
he's all
you're
the
back
same
here.
quarter, Browny.
Back here, Lids. You're back here. I'm on Jimmy. I've got Jimmy at this point. This is 3. Here you are here. I'm kicking over your head. You're celebrating. That's number 4. And then the last one, Lids, you're way up the field again. So here's you going for the mark here. You get out the back, and I kick the 5th. So he was a tough player to play on, Lids, but I was the one who played on him.
That is twice in 3 weeks. He's sabotaged.
Yeah.
Made it. You say on myself.
Yeah, I know. That's sad.
Go and feed the whales, mate.
No, it's sad. Well, I'd rather feed the whales than feed the chooks like you. I can tell you. All right, we'll take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show. I know it comes with a relevancy, but, you know, you're just clinging, mate. You're just clinging. We'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. More. What are you standing like that for?
He's an awkward little man.
You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. As Llordo mentioned earlier, Collingwood head and shoulders above the rest of the competition at the moment. Well, actually, he might not have said that.
They were head and shoulders above North after 3/4 time last night. 8 goals to 1. Jamie Elliott, what a season he's having. He's kicked 5. Remember, he's now up to 14 goals for the year with 3. Mychek does what he does. And the Dacos boys were phenomenal, as was Ned Long. And Billy Frampton, what a story it's been for him at Collingwood. Just what a player he's become. Gets all the big jobs. And last night, he kept Nick Larkey to 1 goal. So, Billy, congratulations on the game last night. And what an outstanding win. Can you talk us through where you saw the change in the game?
Thanks, Llordo. Yeah, thanks, boys, for having me. It was sort of in that last quarter, wasn't it? We sort of just got a bit of ascendancy with how we wanted to move the ball, and our contest and defence really ramped up. So real arm wrestle for the whole day, but I'm really happy to sort of get over the top of them in the end and not have to slug it out to the last siren.
Billy, there's 800 full-time professionals, footballers, and there's probably 10 or 15 coaches and staff at every club, but everyone talks about Collingwood in a different way because of the system and the process and everyone knowing their roles. Has it blown you away, like your time at Collingwood, for what it's like there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we put so much time into, is just the system and how we play. A really roles-focused game. Everyone knows exactly what they have to do at every certain time, and we're never relying on anyone to win a game for us or to be dominant. We sort of just go about it as a team in our system and know that anyone can come in and fill roles when needed. So it's been amazing. It's a really good team to be a part of, obviously.
Yeah, big Bill. Since you moved from the Crows, you've been involved in grand final. Now you're top of the ladder. You must be regretting that move, mate.
I've missed you, Sloaney. That's one thing I regret, mate. It has been a good change. Yeah, it has been a good change. I've loved Melbourne in general, and obviously it's been a good time for me at the Pies.
I just want to touch on Ned Long, mate. I love a big-bodied mid who plays the game the right way. He was enormous last night. I reckon he had 15 score involvements, but his contested work's been outstanding.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast. He's so big. I think people don't really understand the size of him. He's a good 194, one of the strongest blokes in the club, and he just goes about his business with no fuss. He's so strong in the contest and impossible to tackle, and he's just going from strength to strength with a bit of confidence and more continuity in his game.
He's playing well, and another player's playing well is Jamie Elliott. I think the whole football world was keen to see Jamie Elliott get a good run, particularly Collingwood supporters, without injury. He's kicked 28 goals. He'd been All-Australian form. Has he done anything differently over the summer that's allowed him to play week after week?
Not particularly. I think he's a real professional regardless with how he sets himself up. But he's gone to the leadership group this year, which Fly's been hammering home. It's been a big change for him, and he's really probably come out of himself a little bit more and super team orientated, and I guess when you go that way you get the results as well, and he's just a great teammate and literally nearly an impossible matchup for a lot of teams, so someone we love playing with, definitely.
Billy, we just spoke before about the big names that were out of Collingwood, and even yesterday with a couple dropping late before the game started, Bobby Hill and Scott Pendlebury being those two. You then lost Braden Maynard in the opening quarter, but you got the job done with some lesser lights. So just can you take us behind the scenes on what that means and how you prepare for those moments, because you just basically have the full faith in whoever runs out?
Yeah, correct. I think you have these things that happen and you obviously can't do much about it. So we just have a next man up mentality. We sort of don't even have to speak about it anymore. We know it's just how it goes. We've got boys ready to put their hand up and ready to come in and fill roles. And as I said before, with our system, that's all that's asked of them. You don't need to come in and be best on or have 30. You just come in, fill that role for the team, and that goes a long way to us winning games, and we get 23 blokes being able to do that.
And you still had some very high-end quality of player available, and the two Dacos brothers again were there when it needed to be won, particularly in that third quarter. But I thought Josh was excellent all night, and Nick had a very good game as well and lit it up in the last quarter. But just to have those two guys in those moments, it must be a great continual reassurance.
Yeah, definitely. They're just amazing how they go about it. Their run offensively is incredible. They set up pretty much every attack we're involved in, and they're just great teammates to have, to be honest. It's, as you said, it feels really safe to have them out there, and know, especially with Nick, that once he's around the ball and he's firing, it's going to be hard to stop him, and it's going to lead us to probably winning a lot of games.
It was a great battle between Darcy Cameron and Tristan Sherry. Was he stirred up during the week? He made the back page of the West Australian. Darcy Cameron, the West Coast Eagles, are making a massive play for him.
Yeah, the boys were giving him a bit of stick about that, signing a big monster deal at West Coast, but he doesn't let any of that get to him. He just goes about his business, and he just goes, plays a really good role, and he was fizzed up to play Cherry. I think he really enjoys the big contest against him and Gawn and the really good players. So he's having a fantastic season, and someone we all love to play with.
Who are you setting yourself for against the Hawks this week?
I'm not so sure. I haven't had a look too much. Obviously, probably Chol and Gunson have been doing a lot of good work down there, and but they're a little bit more of a smaller, dynamic forward line. So again, it'll look different to what it did on the weekend in the past week. So we'll have to defend it in a certain way that's a little bit different. They've got the wood over us the past couple of times too. So should be a good game. The
votes from last night's game: all Collingwood players. Nick Dacos gets the 8. Elliott with 5 goals, the 8. Ned Long one of the improvers of the year. And Josh Dacos gets 7.
And you come on the Sunday Footy Show, it's the best prize pack in the business. A family pass to Gun Buy World where water slides, thrill rides and wildlife collide. Just look out for the Quackers. A Hit Fit membership, combined body weight and boxing for a full body workout. You'll be best dressed on the course thanks to Clutch & Co. And we'll kit you out in Catstar, Brad Close's clothing brand. Be close, your swing, your style. More golf, a box of Chrome Tour golf balls and a cap thanks to Callaway, and another 2 hats courtesy of Travis Matthew. Bar Fridges Australia are back for all your beer and wine cooling needs. Bar Fridges Australia is your one-stop shop. Pair of Aquilas, premium quality footwear since 1958. Treat yourself to a batch of Daniel's Donuts. You can book them online, and TJ loves a free meal. So we'll give you one at Platform 28, the best pub in Docklands, and Rick's eyewear that inspires confidence and elevate your wardrobe like Llordo in the latest streetwear style from St. Goliath.
Oh, good work, Billy. Plenty there for you, mate.
No, that's not bad. That's a good little haul, isn't it?
That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you didn't get this in Adelaide, did you?
No.
No, certainly not. I don't think I knew who I was over there.
All right, mate. Well, it's great to have you on the show and continued success for the remainder of the season.
Good on you, fellas. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Billy Frampton, joining us there from the Collingwood Football Club. The Sunday Footy Show is what you're watching as we turn our attention now to Hawthorn and Brisbane, and some big question marks over the Hawks this morning.
Yeah, they'd won their last 5 against the Brisbane Lions as well and were well suited to win again, but they couldn't quite get the job done. Zorko was outstanding. Lockie Neal, Ashcroft gets better and better. I thought Archie was the best man on the ground. Charlie Cameron kicked 3 in a hurry, and that forward line worked beautifully yesterday. A 33-point win. But let's talk about Charlie Cameron. Llordo, he's been down, but for 5 minutes yesterday, he was the best man on the ground.
Yeah, it's the toughest role in football, so I'm not... that's what Charlie Cameron is. He's going to have his down days. He's not as consistent as he used to be, but this is all you need. Someone who can just have their moments in a patch. And as you said, he broke the game open in this period, Rory.
Yeah, in that second quarter, it was a bit of a stalemate, and then all of a sudden they piled on those 3 goals and they were well ahead. But it wasn't just him, it was Callum Archie as well. He was enormous. He loves the MCG. He was almost best on in the grand final, but he kicked 4 goals too, and he was huge. And we mentioned it before, he was on Sicily, and Sicily, when he gave him a bit too much rope, he found some space.
And a special night for him also, a special day, because his brother designed that jumper they were wearing.
It's an incredible jumper too, and there's so much pride for the Indigenous fellas when they get to put on this jumper, and they love putting on a show in Indigenous round, and Callum certainly did that.
A question for you, Nath and Rory. Who be tipping at grand finals tomorrow, Brisbane or Collingwood?
I think Collingwood at the G.
You're not letting go.
No, I'm just interested in that because, geez, they're scary. I think they're scary.
Well, what is the answer?
Full fit Collingwood?
Yeah, full fit both teams.
Yeah, I think Collingwood.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Collingwood.
Yeah, I'll go Collingwood right now. Yeah. But September could be very different.
Yes. All right, let's have a look at the votes from yesterday's game. And I thought Callum Archie was the best man on the ground. Zorko just does what he does. Ashcroft and Payne down back. I don't think he's been beaten this year, Jack Payne.
Alrighty, you are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Still plenty to come. Media-Ocre, you happy with it, obviously?
Absolutely. When is that coming up?
It's coming up soonish. The quiz.
The quiz is back. No, you are not back in the quiz. I'm in the quiz, yeah.
And deep dive, can you give us a clue?
We're up next, I think, aren't we, with the deep dive? So a clue
yes, we are.
is someone who's in the best 3 ruckmen of the last 50 years, I'd say.
Whoa. OK, that's all coming up next on the Sunday Footy Show.
Previous eras marvelled at Simon Madden and Polly Farmer before that. Now they've marvelled at Dean Cox and also Max Gawn currently. But Dean Cox is the feature of the top 30. He's ranked 20 in my greatest players I've seen over the last 30 years. Look at this record. From a rookie listed player, picked 28, he went on to play 290 games, 6 All-Australians, a premiership player, a Glendenning medalist, best and fairest winner and a Hall of Fame member. And I love that. Picked 28 in a rookie draft. They take longer ruckman. Let's take a look at some of his early days playing for the West Coast Eagles, Dean Cox. Look at the players he's around there. Dean Kemp in that centre bounce, and he went on. It was Cousins, Kerr, Judd and Dean Cox. And Dean Cox, just the skills. Browny's going to show some clips soon, but straight away you saw he was different to ruckman in the way he could use the footy and the way he could get around the ground. But, we're going to hear from Juddy soon, a previous clip from Juddy, and that endurance wasn't a thing he always had, Browny, but he worked extremely hard at it.
And he ran, and his agility for a ruckman, I don't think we've seen anything like him. Maybe Jim Steins had the agility and he ran, but just the ability to pick the footy up from ground level and to do things like this. Like, ruckman couldn't do that. Have a look at that. That is brilliant. brilliant from Dean Cox, and then to kick it onto the left. So this was regular highlights for this man. Just no problems crossing the paint there from 45. So he revolutionised the modern ruckman at the moment. So swing Tom de Koning and these guys running and carrying at the moment. But he was the first one. Have a look at that from 55. We all know the one in the grand final, but he was unstoppable at times.
His skill level, both sides of the body, were just incredible. Unmatched from any ruckman, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he's the type of guy that changes the game. I think there was a lot of big lumbering ruckman types, but not Dean Cox. Like he was a nightmare for anyone else he was playing on. And we all love Juddy. He's got a humorous side, and here is Chris Judd talking about Dean Cox.
There's a legendary story at West Coast about them doing a 2K time trial and Coxie not even being able to run the whole 2Ks. Such was his level of fitness. It turns out he had some issue with it wasn't his nose, but something in there. He couldn't breathe properly. Whatever was causing the issue, it certainly wasn't a lack of size in his nose, obviously, because it's enormous.
Bit of a lot of size, a bit of a Dean Cox there.
We just saw some great goals. He actually kicked 169 out of those 290 games, Llordo. He also could take a hanger, couldn't he? He'd take a really, really big mark. He actually averaged 5.5 marks in the 290 matches he played, and some big marks in big moments, as we got to see here. And there's pretty much nothing he could not do, because while ruckman, Llordo, they're meant to be presenting themselves in these moments, he genuinely took a pack mark.
Spot on, Dane. Look at the blokes he's up against. Matthew Scarlett, and being able to drift forward, drift back. Moments like this, we're just getting in the way, and that's what, as I said, Gawn does amazingly well. And we actually raised this topic there, Gawn v Dean Cox. It's a great chat around who is, but they've been the best two for a long, long time. Yeah,
and he's big in big moments and in big games as well. And one of the best rivalries, I reckon, of that era was Sydney versus West Coast, but he played big grand finals. They lost this one here, the 2005 one, by 4 points. And Sydney hadn't won a flag since, I think, 1933. But he was huge in these games. One of the great goals, wasn't it? One of the great goals of all time. And there's a reason Juddy won the Norm Smith that day, not being in the winning side. And it's because he had such a great ruckman feeding him the ball the whole time.
And what about this moment where he kicks it in? And we were talking about Dean Cox more if Leo Barry doesn't take that mark. But he got his glory the year after.
He did, back-to-back. So he went back in 2006. He played well in 05 and Sydney won that one, but he led the way in 2006. So he had 34 hit-outs on this day. He had 20 disposals as a ruckman in a grand final. So, 20 disposals in a grand final is big for a midfielder, the Cox, the Cousins and those sort of types, but unbelievable. 20 touches, 34 hit-outs and a premiership star.
To play 290 games from Perth and to travel every second week as a big fella like that and try and squeeze into an aeroplane, it's an unbelievable achievement. And something like, I know you guys haven't travelled much, but that's a long trip. They would have spent 4 to 5 days on the road every couple of weeks. And to do what he did is incredible.
And now to do what he's doing, to become an AFL senior coach, full credit to him. And he's coaching today against Melbourne. He was good enough to send us this message this morning.
G'day, guys. Matthew, thank you very much for having me in your top 30. Number 20, I'm actually happy with that, playing number, but I look forward to seeing the top 10. No doubt you've got yourself in that, and it's thoroughly deserved, but one man's opinion I'm very proud of. Thanks very much, mate. Take care.
Good on him. That's great. Yeah, he's a terrific fella, isn't he? And don't often find it in coaching ranks, but he's sort of breaking the mould there in many ways, isn't he?
Yeah, and the fact he's got a really big game today against the Demons.
Exactly. All right, well done, Llordo. We'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Media-Ocre not too far away. The quiz not too far away. And Damo's got a live guest for Animal Fact this week.
I do. He's a rock star himself.
Oh, Ranger Benny's back.
Ranger Benny's back.
Ranger Benny's back.
He should be hosting this TV show when you're away, TJ.
I like Ranger Benny.
No snakes.
No snakes today. No, there will be an animal, but no snakes.
Okay. We'll find all to be revealed a little later on here on the Sunday Footy Show. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Carlton supporters waking up this morning feeling a little blue, shall we say, for good reason. They're not out of it yet in terms of the finals, Rory, but you can't take anything away from the Giants.
No, they've got a bye coming up and then a softish draw the next month after, but the Giants are great. Hogan kicked 3. Toby Green was unbelievable. He was clearly best on ground, but it was their pressure and the way they lowered their eyes going forward against Carlton, which set the game up. And pardon me, Carlton have got some work to do if they want to finish the year strong. I had them as a bolter to finish this year well, and I'm questioning that at the moment.
Yeah, they've got North and West Coast the 2 weeks after the bye, so it gives them half a chance to get on their feet and try and find some form. But Jesse Hogan, another 4 goals, so 30 for the season.
Missed the early matches.
Yeah, he did. So just the work rate is unbelievable. So if you're a young aspiring forward, I'd go and watch him and see how he leads as well. It's like he often gets the ball on his third effort, just leads and releads and wraps back around. Hard to stop.
Yeah, it is. And when the Giants mids are getting out and lowering their eyes and lowering them to him, he comes into the game a lot more, and so do the Giants forwards. So
Browny, I've said that they're one of the biggest mysteries for me, the Giants. I know Rory's going to do his votes.
Yep, so Toby had 9, Ash was great, and I thought Tom Green and Jesse Hogan were very good too, so they got my votes.
Do you trust them or not?
Not at this stage, no. I did last year.
Yeah.
Defensively, I trust them, but not so much the midfield at the moment.
What is it you don't trust about them? Just the consistency?
Yeah,
or?
just the lack of consistency, and I think that, I speak to Jimmy Bartell a bit, who's been there and watched them closely a lot, that they don't respect defence enough. So they can attack quite well, but don't respect defence enough. Need to probably be more honest through their midfield, I think.
But that window, I mean, all windows are sort of closing to a certain degree, but it's not. I mean, it's getting there, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're still there, but as you said, like good teams just keep coming along. So you just got to take your chances while you can.
All right, what about Freo? I mean, is this a side you can trust?
Well, they're starting to get trustworthy at the moment. There was a very good win by 49 points last night. Murphy Reid kicked 4 goals. He's a player. Georgiades up the other end. Willie Rioli, good to see him back kicking a couple. Caleb Sarong gets the ball all the time. Wines, Rosie at half back. But this is going to be fascinating. So I think there's 9 teams that are going for the 8 spots at the moment. Outside that, you've got Carlton and Sydney, maybe even Melbourne. But those 2 play today. But Fremantle are 9th at the moment. They're just outside the 8. They need to keep winning.
They've had a good fortnight, Browny, haven't they?
I think it's, and we're going to talk about this guy, Murphy Reid, but I think they've changed the way they move the footy in the last few weeks.
Yeah, they've been slow, and they've been going boundary and slow for, I reckon, that month before it. But, yeah, guys like this come into the game when they go long and quick through the corridor and attack the last line. His pressure was outstanding. And
so the fact he's now kicked 4 goals twice in the 11 games of footy, and he's still 18 years of age, it just says what the future is going to be all about for him.
Well, he's a young star, but it comes off the back of what they do upfield and what Brownie's talking about, how they move the ball. He'll come into play when they can go long and strong and attack the last line, because their bigs will get a contest.
It's a slight change they've made, so hopefully they continue that on for the season. Jackson was outstanding best man on the ground. Chapman, Reid for those 4. And Sarong, particularly second half, he got motoring.
Don't forget your footy fix. Well, it keeps on coming here on Channel 9, because later tonight it is Footy Furnace with the dynamic trio there in Jimmy Bartell. There's also James Hurd and the best newsbreaker in the business, Tom Morris, who's got some interesting news about the mid-season draft, which you'll have on 9 News for Melbourne tonight, and then expand on that on Footy Furnace later on. Check your local guides.
He's back. Time, everybody. Favourite segment, Brownie's Quiz, brought to you by Sportsbet. $500 on the line, and Tony butchered it last week. I apologise on behalf of everybody, but it is $500 on the line. Who are we playing for?
Today, Michael Llordo, Manor Lakes, Victoria.
Amelia Dexter from Youngtown, Launceston.
I'm playing for Leon White from Burnie in Tasmania.
And I'm playing for Christine Lilburn from Edgewater, WA.
And a very good morning to you, Tony Barber, who made all this possible. So Bailey Smith is a multiple club player. So these are all multiple club player questions. The first one is, question number 1. Isaac Smith played in how many grand finals?
2 here, Chumpers.
3. Incorrect.
He doesn't miss.
4. Incorrect.
Llordo doesn't
He
forget.
certainly did. Llordo off to a fly, and I believe you're 8 from 11 so far this year, Llordo.
Yes.
That is very good.
Flying,
You
Llordo.
too.
Oh, well, when you have, full forward...
-1, Tony. Question number 2. Who was the All-Australian captain for 3 consecutive years from...
He doesn't miss.
Treadray.
1998 to 2000.
He played at 2 clubs.
He was the biggest of the big.
Can I go?
Judd.
Incorrect. That was Wayne Carey. Closest to the pin. Everyone gets a go.
When he played for Adelaide, he was All-Australian captain, wasn't
No.
Closest.
No, he wasn't.
he? Well, you're not being
Oh, he
clear.
played for 2 clubs, but he wasn't.
Yeah, I know,
captain.
but that implied that it was while he was at his second club.
Negative.
No, it doesn't. -1. just be very careful. This is my quiz. You stuffed it last week, and we're back to normal programming. Closest to the pin, everyone gets a go. Tony, you'll be first, then it goes the other way. You got that?
I wish it had started.
Jeremy Cameron's goals for GWS.
What do you mean?
How many did he kick?
Oh,
No, not a trick question.
I'll say 280.
I'll say 400.
390.
411.
411 is right. 427 he kicked, Jeremy Cameron. That is a famous faces, Damien. Indigenous stars.
Famous faces.
Can you go through them, please, Nathan?
That is Peter Matera, Shane Edwards, David Wirrapundi. You've got Michael Walters down there, Buddy, Nicky Winmar, Leon, Paddy Ryder and Byron Pickett.
I want to go for Michael Walters, please.
Michael Walters, very good player. -3, Damien, bad luck. Question number 4. What year did Nathan Buckley play at the Brisbane Lions?
He doesn't miss.
He played in 1993.
That's exactly right, Damien. All right. Who is the only player to play 100 games for Collingwood and Carlton?
He doesn't miss.
Dale Thomas.
Dale Thomas is right. Name GWS's first co-captains.
Llordo doesn't forget. Warden Davis.
That's right. Absolutely, Llordo. What club has Adam Treloar played the most games at?
GWS.
Incorrect.
Llordo doesn't forget.
Collingwood is right. 94 at Collingwood, 82 at the Bulldogs, 79 at the Giants. Let's have a look at the score. Llordo out again.
Hang on, I can't be -3.
You are -3, Tony.
Oh, that's unfair.
That was also
to Christine.
I'll go Nicky Winmar.
Nicky Winmar down the bottom. You can steal a point off somebody.
No one's got any.
Damo.
I'm already -3. And I've already had 3 taken off me.
Okay. Question 7. Brendan Tavola wore what number at Brisbane?
He doesn't miss.
12.
No.
1.
No.
Was it
-1, Tony.
I haven't answered.
No, you got it wrong anyway. 5.
Oh.
Okay, for 2 points, name the 4 clubs Tom Hickey played at.
Still here, Chumbers.
St Kilda and Sydney.
And?
Oh,
Llordo
sorry,
doesn't
how many
forget.
did you say?
4.
Oh.
-1, Tony.
Gold Coast and Sydney as well, Nate.
No,
St Kilda.
Gold Coast, St Kilda, West Coast and Sydney.
How come you
Okay.
don't mock him when he's done?
Question number 9. Chris Judd famously did his ACL in his last game against which opponent?
Llordo doesn't forget. Adelaide.
It was Adelaide, Llordo. You got to pick. The -3's gone.
I'll go with my former teammate, Paddy Ryder.
Paddy Ryder in the middle. -1. One of the best snaps at goal you'll ever see.
Good play.
Interesting you didn't get that when he played against you, Juddy, in that last game.
You brought it back to yourself by
All right.
my team.
So Llordo 4, Damien -5, TJ -4.
He's going to win again.
Disgrace. Okay, I'm a former number 1 pick for 5 points.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to ask who am I. I had this. I was going to go just you.
Yeah, you're out.
Yep.
I played
Hang
for
on,
2.
can we think about it?
I played for 2 clubs for 4 points.
Still here, Chumbers.
It's Brady, Delidio.
He doesn't miss.
Brett Delidio is the correct answer.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how you got there from those
you're
2
wondering,
questions.
Yeah,
I am
Well, hang on.
wondering.
There hasn't been a lot of number 1 draft picks like
Yeah.
Nathan Buckley.
Good point.
Tom Boyd.
Right?
Tom Boyd.
Yeah, okay, and I went Brett Delidio.
But Bucks wasn't even number 1 draft pick, was he?
No, Bucks wasn't. No, but Tom Boyd
All right,
was.
I'll give it to you. But Llordo, you are the winner.
Leon
Again.
White. Yeah, Leon White from Burnie, Tasmania.
Leon,
Well done,
$500 coming your way thanks to Sportsbet. If you want to join the fun, www.9.com.au/Brownies quiz.
How do you reckon you went today, Brownie? Now that you're back in the host chair.
Nailed it.
You did nail
You
it.
did. You were very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
Seamless, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
All right.
You're embarrassing.
We're going to take a break here on the Sun. What do you keep looking at me
I'm just
for?
wondering how you got that, Brett.
Oh, it's extraordinary. Like extraordinary.
I thought it was going to be about you. I'm like, this is all about you.
That's Llordo.
You're up.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, mate. No, it wasn't. It wasn't anything. Sorry, mate.
That's your earpiece, mate, not your microphone.
Your microphone's down here.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Jack.
He's lost it today.
All righty, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Everything's above board.
It is time for Primetime takeaways, and it centres around Thursday night's game. Geelong and the Western Bulldogs, 2 quality sides. We want to look at Geelong. That was a big 4 points that they've got. And I want to pose to you guys, is top 2 on the cards when you look at their run home, Brownie? And the teams highlighted in green are their only top 8 teams in the run home?
This is absolutely. So this is 12 games. They would win 9 of those. I mean, they are all winnable the way the Cats are playing. They played the Brisbane Lions and the Gold Coast Suns, who are well up there in the Giants. But I've got them winning 9. They've already won 7. So 16 wins, I think, gets you to the top 2, definitely top 4.
Is that healthy leading into a finals?
I think it doesn't matter how you get there, especially, and Damo might mention it, a team like Geelong, they've got 6 of those at home.
6 at home and a few at the G, where they love playing.
Yeah, they love playing there at the moment too. lose. So, Damo, I don't know, is that healthy coming into finals?
Well, I think it is, TJ, given how seasoned this club is. They just make finals almost by definition of the club itself. And, yeah, I think they'll just use those latter rounds, if they've got the luxury of ladder position not being an issue, just to get everyone absolutely right. And we know that they're probably going to rest Dangerfield or potentially rest Dangerfield through until that bye, which I don't think comes till round 16. So we may not see him until round 17.
But they normally do this, Geelong, don't they? They always take a while to build up their season, and then by the second half of the year, they're normally humming coming into finals time. So it's a scary thought for the rest of the competition.
And I think if they can get a buffer and then play some weaker sides, which they've got weaker sides doubling up, even in the run home, that they can manage players. So not only Dangerfield. I know he bristles up, Chris Scott, about pulling out players late in games and that sort of thing, but he can do more and more of that with every win they get from here.
All right, what about Friday night?
Friday night, I thought was really interesting in terms of the way they used Zach Merritt. Their class players got them home, Merritt, Martin, Caldwell, Durham. So I didn't think it was a great win from them, but still, the win's a win.
They're doing what they need to do at the moment, Essendon. I mean, they dropped off the second half of the year last year. I hope they can finish off this year really strongly as a young team, because I want to see them play.
So no Bolter, no Lynch, no Nankervis.
Yeah.
Do Richmond win that game with those three?
And no Jaden Short as well.
Oh, I don't think so. I still think they win the game against them. But they've got a game in hand, though, the Bombers. So if they can take a scalp, you never know. They could be still in the mix for the 8.
Lou Richards leaderboard.
Let's have a look at it. And up the top, I'd imagine that Nick Dacos will be right up there. And he is. Probably a game clear. Wanganeen Miller plays. Bailey Smith flying at the moment. Caleb Sarong voted. Connor Rosey missed out. Tristan Sherry there. So that is 57. Nick Dacos is winning at the moment. And the winner for Lexus of Blackburn wins this for the Lou Richards medal in 2025. Drive away with the Lexus LBX two-wheel drive luxury model, valued at a drive-away price of $55,502. This includes all on-road costs and a 12-month of Victorian registration. The good people at Lexus of Blackburn have been very good to the Sunday Footy Show. Great after-sales service, brilliant coffee out there. Thank you, Lexus of Blackburn.
OK, no Nathan, no Media-Ocre, but they're both back.
Caroline Wilson always gets the story, even if the person she spoke to didn't speak to her.
What's been the reaction from inside the Bombers today?
I must say, I can only endorse what Brad has said to me today. I haven't spoken to Brad.
The only thing more frustrating than having a question at the tip of your tongue is one at the back of your throat.
So what's your... How's your friend... Sorry. How's your friendship and your... Sorry.
Oh, you're okay, big guy?
I'll ask a question. Sorry. Apologies. How's your relationship grown since you've been far out? Sorry. Go.
Anthony Hudson did his best Alfred Hitchcock on the weekend, the star commentator turning into the master of suspense.
The amazing stat from about Lockie McNeil. I'll give it to you after half-time about what happens here at Marvel Stadium compared to other venues.
You're going to make it wait.
Going to make you wait. It's going to tease it, Jason. Won't disappoint, I promise.
Luke Hodge had a glittering football career, but I'm not sure Wall Street is calling.
Righto, Hodgie, new ball for you. You get to kick it off. What are you buying this week?
As I should, Daisy. This is what I'm not buying, this man here.
Oh, no.
Well, I'll buy Bond any day of the week, but what I wouldn't buy is Libba.
Sorry.
So what that was, if I could just quietly get it then, that was Libba.
Critical analysis is part of the game. But Jay Clark might have been a little harsh on Harvey Langford.
So Simon Goodwin's locked in. We know he's contracted to the end of next year, but also it's the growth from these kids. So we know Harvey Langford's a dig.
Undeterred by pressure from his colleagues, Hutto would wait for the perfect moment.
Still waiting for your killer stat, Hutto, that you promised it.
Well, I will deliver it. I will just... Little asterisk. It wasn't quite as good as I first did the calculation. So
backtrack now.
Is potential Tasmanian coach Nathan Buckley scouting some Irish talent for his new side? Because if he is, he may want to look elsewhere.
This is the challenge for the big Irishman. He's been able to mark and compete so well. Did you know that Finn Barmali is an Irish?
No, I knew that, but I didn't correct it. His father was born in the US.
From Eltham.
And he may need some help in the stats department in the Apple Isle.
This is the highest dogs. So the highest... I'm looking at Roberts, the other side, sorry. His tackle pressure's been great though, James.
Nicely done.
Let's see what all this Hutto fuss is about.
Let's quickly give you my Lockie McNeil stat. Yeah. So you'd think at Marvel Stadium it'd be the best venue to kick straight. Well, Lockie McNeil has kicked 14 goals, 24 in his career here, and 21 goals, 13 elsewhere.
I'm a little underwhelmed after the build-up.
Now that's Media-Ocre.
I think one of his best ever.
Yeah, that is great. That is...
Take it for what it is. It's just a bit of fun. A bit of fun. Don't take it too seriously.
Classic Jason Dunstall there. What, are you starting this campaign against Jay Clark now?
Oh, no.
I mean, Damo got rid of Mark Robinson. Now you're lining up Jay Clark.
I'm not lining up Jay Clark at all. Not at all. He's a good mate of mine.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. We'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. A special animal fact coming up later in the program.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It's Sunday agenda time. Now, the great Billy Brownless played with and lived through the hype of Gary Ablett Sr. There have been some other massive Geelong Football Club names. Paddy Dangerfield, Ablett Jr., Selwood, Hawkins, Stevie J, Bartel and Ling and others. But right now, Billy reckons that Bailey Smith is every bit as big as the great Gary Ablett Sr.
I don't think the Cats have seen anything like this.
Since Brownless?
Well, Ablett
Ablett, right, okay.
Together, the package. But you got
Okay.
Tomahawk, who was very big. Joel Selwood was a legend, and everyone loved him.
So you're putting him
I'm
already
telling you,
into that
already
category, into the Gary Ablett Senior category.
Above Danger?
Above, yes, with off-field.
Danger?
With off-field and what's going on there. The hype, exactly. Never seen anything like this.
You don't make these types of statements, Bill.
I was thinking about this yesterday.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? He's played 10 of the 11 matches in this season for the Cats. He missed one with a management issue early. But for Billy to say that, having lived through, obviously, and played with Gary Ablett Sr., saw the Gary Ablett Jr. days as well, it's a big statement.
I think backing it up, though, talking about the hype, I think justifies his argument. Yeah. I mean, every footy record came with a headband down there on Thursday night. So I think there's some justification there.
100%, I think, on the hype side of it. So you can't put him in the category of those players you mentioned.
No, he's not.
As a footballer, but from a hype, Billy living down there, seeing what it's doing for the town.
In half a season of footy.
It's his personality, and he appeals to this current day audience, doesn't he? That younger audience, that younger demographic that just love every bit about him.
And clearly it's having a spike in patronage for Billy's pubs.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Hey, Jerry McGovern made an All-Australian team for a 5th time last year. It hasn't been seen since this incident against Melbourne 3 weeks ago. It was the mark where Jake Melsham took, and it wasn't in the same category as the players being pushed under. It was just good body work by Melsham. But he hasn't been seen since, Browny, on an AFL venue, and he's now been placed under the AFL concussion panel, which is an independent body of medical experts who will now determine how a possible return to AFL looks, and it's not always a good outcome for a player.
No. Has there been other players in that protocol before?
Yeah, well, I mean, Angus Brayshaw is one who had the same situation. Nathan Murphy, that's the extreme end of it. We have had others like Tom Liberatore, Llordo and Sloaney and TJ who have been through it and come back to play.
How do you get placed in that?
It's a medical assessment by the club and others around the club, and obviously Jeremy himself, who said he's struggling. Yeah.
Has this happened quicker than those other cases?
Look, it might have. He has had I wouldn't say a history of, but he has had moments in the past where it has been an issue for him. But it's obviously delicately placed, as it is with Nick Cox, a young Essendon player who tried to return recently through the VFL and had a continuation of also head knocks that he has had, and he too was in that same stage. Spoke with Brendan Gale a couple of times last week, TJ, on the hustings effectively for the Tasmanian licence. Still need to get this stadium issue through both houses of Parliament, and the timeline on that is June and July, where we'll get some clarity on it. I strongly believe Chris Scott is their main target, but they're not making any formal approaches until they get this stadium process dealt with, which I won't say it's line ball, but it's not 100% guaranteed that they will get it through.
Yeah, some nervous times coming up. Good work, Damo. Damo's agenda there. Damo will be back after the break with his animal fact, a special live guest coming in. Plus, we've got a bit of footy to talk about.
Make the most of the cooler months with a winter retreat at Langham Hotels and Resorts. In Melbourne, Sydney or the Gold Coast, enjoy a room upgrade, buffet breakfast for two, bottle of sparkling and late checkout. The Langham Melbourne, a proud supporter of the Sunday Footy Show.
One of 3 matches to complete this round of football. What else we got?
Yeah, we got Adelaide West Coast at Adelaide Oval today. It's going to be dry, originally wet, which gave concerns to the Big Three, but the Big Three will kick, I reckon, over 12 goals. They'll have a field day on Adelaide Oval.
And I can't wait for the MCG today. Melbourne v Sydney. 2 teams desperately need to win this to stay in touch with the finals, and I think Melbourne can win a tight one.
All right, well, Jess Webster is at the MCG with a very, very special... Get him off. Who you got, Jess?
Hello, TJ. Yes, here with a very, very special guest and a good friend of our show here on the Sunday Footy Show, Tom Papley. Paps, great to see you. Unfortunately injured at the moment and sidelined. Tell us about the recovery and when we might see you out there on the field.
Yeah, it's going well. Started running about a week ago, so I've probably got another month to go and then hopefully back after the bye, which is good.
And I know it must be frustrating being sidelined at the moment, but you have an off-field role today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the bench today, which is nice at the G, which will be good. Obviously, I love being involved when I'm not playing. Obviously, love to be playing, but it's always nice to be involved, get amongst the boys and get around them.
And what do you like on the bench? Are you cool, calm and collected? Are you the hype man? Tell us about what you bring to the bench.
I'm pretty passionate, but I like to control my emotions on the bench and not get too hyped on there. But yeah, it'll be good fun.
Yeah, good to hear. And obviously a massive game against Melbourne, who knocked off Brisbane last week. First time at the G as well for the Swans so far this year. So what do you need to do to come away with the 4 points? Yeah,
they're in really good form. The G's last month, contest, ball movement, everything really, defence. So it'll be a great contest. I think we're going all right last month as well, so it'll be a really, really good test for us.
And Cal Mills back into the side as well. That's a welcome sight for Swans fans.
Yeah, really good. Really keen to see him play. He's obviously been out for a fair while now. And yeah, he's just a really, really good leader for us. I think we've got a few out today, like Justin McInerney, who will be missed, but he comes in and will create a great contest for us. Great leader.
And it's a great chance this morning for you to catch up with one of your good friends, TJ. I'm going to hand back over to you, Tony. Tom's all yours.
Well, no, he's not. But, Tom, it's always good to have you on the program, my friend. And how disappointing is it for you actually being out of action at a time when the side needs you most?
Thanks, Tony. Good to be here, mate. Yeah, it's disappointing, but yeah, it's been tough. Like, obviously, a bit of a weird injury, stress fracture in the heel. It's a bit of a different one, but yeah, it's been frustrating. I'm a pretty impatient sort of bloke, so yeah, the last 10 weeks has been pretty annoying.
It's strange to hear Tony come out of your mouth, mate. Normally we just hear chompers from you, but
yeah, what's going on there?
Isaac Heaney and Chad Warner have been huge and pivotal in your wins. You're going to need a few more cavalry to come back to help you guys this second half of the year.
Yeah, that's it. I think Haynes and Chad have been very good. We've obviously got a few out today with Marty and Juzzy, but yeah, like I think Millsy comes in. He's an All-Australian. He's been missed, but yeah, those three will work well together in the midfield. And I think Gruns is going really well in the midfield as well. So I think it'll be one in the midfield today.
Hey Tom, like you've been inconsistent this year as a team. I know everyone knows the injuries, but what's the bigger issue been? Your ball movement going inside 50, or that you've struggled defensively and been opened up a bit too much? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it comes back to defence, Lloydie. I think probably the last month, I think we haven't been scored as much, and that holds us in good stead, and then we can get our ball movement going from there. But I think in the first sort of half of the season, we were getting scored against too much, and we sort of had a look at that, and yeah, we really want to defend our 50 and defend the ground really well. So I think the last month, I don't think we've been scored against that often, so we're looking to do that same today.
All right, Jess, thanks very much. And Tom, thank you to you. You're always welcome on the program, and hopefully we see you back out there doing what you do best. And, mate, you've been on your best behaviour here too. I must commend you for that.
Cheers, chompers. See you, mate.
OK. Thanks, TJ.
What were the odds? What were the odds? Tom Papley joining us there. I'm very excited about this also, Damo.
Well, I am too, TJ, because we've got the animal fact today, and we needed some help at the start of the year when it was not going all that well. And I got out of jail, Llordo, when we got Ranger Benny from Goombaya World to come into the Sunday Footy Show. And while it's a Ranger by trade, I think he could be a TV show host as well. You brought in some snakes, or a model. You brought in some snakes last time, and who have you got today?
We've got young Teddy with us today, guys. A little southern koala, about 18 months old. He's taking it all in this morning. He's loving it in the studio here. Hey, fella.
Jeez, look at that. I haven't seen anyone clinging like that since Nathan.
Hey, Benny, we've got a good mate, Jason Dunstall, who sleeps to 1:30 most days. How much do they sleep per day?
Pretty similar to Jace, actually, the Chief. So anywhere between 18 to 20 on a good day. I reckon Chief would be able to pump that out if he really tried. Yeah. Probably after a gather round or something like that, I'd reckon. But yeah, they'll wake up for 5-10 minutes here or there, have a bit of a munch, bit of a look around. But this fella, he's been raised from a real Joey, and we walk him around the park and really engage with our guests with him. obviously big draw card for him.
You were saying he's going to be a stud down the track?
Yeah, well, look at his looks, Sloane. He's nearly as good looking as you, mate. So we got to study him out to the young females we got, but that's a couple of years away from him at this point. But yeah, he's coming along. He's coming along.
What is it with you and animals and?
He just goes straight there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
And how are all the quackers going down there? They're okay at the moment?
Mate, our quackers are on their best behaviour.
They share the pen with
They do, absolutely. Teddy's got a little family of quackers beneath.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got all the insights down here. So, yeah, we've built a brand new enclosure as well down there, mate. So even more koalas and
I'm a regular out there.
And those snakes that you brought in last time, they're all okay?
I just left them
after being subjected to this panel?
Yeah, I just left them backstage, boys. But no, it's like when you raise the animals to be used to this sort of thing, it really causes them no stress. And actually, look how inquisitive he is right now. He's taking it all in and loving it. So wouldn't mind going for a walk around the city with him, but that might be pushing it. So.
Did you play footy yourself as a youngster?
Used to play a little bit, mate. Got to the heights of the VFL back with did a year under Damien Drum in the Bendigo Diggers back in the day. So that's my little claim to fame, mate.
Yeah. You could have played for the Bears.
Oh,
all right,
very good.
We'll take a break. Benny, good to see you, mate, and thanks for bringing Blinky in. What's his name?
Little Teddy.
Teddy. Thanks for bringing Teddy in, and he's an absolute beauty, isn't he? So head on down there to Gumbaya World, Gumbaya Park.
Great spot.
Great spot there.
Take the family. It's as good as anywhere in Australia.
Terrific. We'll take a break. Thank you, Benny. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Geez, it's been good to have Nath back, hasn't it?
It's been a great show. Looking forward to seeing if Damo can get his hands right today.
Yes.
Hasn't he been well groomed too? Look at
you
the
were
beautiful
scared last week.
And the forehead and the Botox.
Yeah, actually, just on the forehead. You had Botox.
Don't be silly, Tony. There is
you look really good today.
There is wrinkles everywhere.
Go on, show us.
He's refreshed.
Wrinkles everywhere.
Oh,
look at
yeah.
him. Wrinkles everywhere.
Bit of time in the outdoors.
I'll wrinkle your face up in a minute.
Oh, what will you do, Nathan?
Did you see what I did? Oh, we can't mention him.
Exactly. Hey, we've got a couple of Joshes today. We've got Josh Weddle and also Josh Gibcus. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. I mean, this time gets more on.
I'll say it again. And Josh Gibcus. I'm not going again.
Go again. Get it right.
Once more.
I did it. Josh Gibcus. Yeah. Right, there you go. Anyway, Josh, great to have you here, mate.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks. You're a bit of a journeyman, aren't you? I mean, your family, like Brisbane, Perth, Ballarat, here?
Yeah, been a bit all over the place. Because of Dad's work, I was born in Brisbane and then moved to Perth for Dad and then moved to Ballarat again. So, yeah, been a bit all over the place. So,
What's his line of work?
He's an engineer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're going to Tigers fans expect to see you back because you're playing some really good football, cruelled by injury. We'd love to see you out there.
Yeah, not too far away now. Another 5 to 8 weeks, I think. So, yeah, going pretty well. Rehab's going good, running and whatnot, and back into full training. So, yeah, going good.
Josh, a lot of Hawks fans at home are asking, where are we at this year? Obviously, you're the story of the year last season, but do you think teams are studying you more and it's just been that tougher challenge to get up that next spot on the ladder?
Yeah, I definitely think so. But obviously an expectation from last year, and going on 0-5 from last year, and not so much expectation. And I think the teams weren't scouting as much. And then going into this year, the team really needed to expect anything from the opposition. So I think the Hawks fans. There's a long year ahead, and yes, we've lost our last 2 games, but been obviously against some quality opposition. So, yeah.
You're going to get to see exactly where you are at on Friday night, aren't you? Upcoming Friday night, MCG v Collingwood. It must be something that you still get excited about, Josh. Playing these big games in front of big crowds.
It's obviously going to be a big game. Hopefully, there's 90-odd thousand people there, and hopefully the Hawks Army can get out there and support us, and hopefully we can put on a good show.
And Josh Gibcus, you played last year at Dreamtime at the G. I'm just getting names right, Tony. You played last year at Dreamtime at the G, and you obviously got to see the game on Friday night. Special game to be involved in as a club.
Didn't play last year with a hamstring, unfortunately, but did play my first year, so it was a really special game for the club and for the boys, the Indigenous boys at the club, and just to get around them for that week, and just a special journey that they go on to create the jumper and just to celebrate their culture and whatnot in that week is, it's unbelievable.
Hey, before we move the target, Josh Weddle, what do you reckon, if you can be told what position you can play, where's the role you want to play in? Because you get moved around a fair bit.
Yeah, I do enjoy it, but I reckon backline. It's a comfort position for me, but I do enjoy going forward and kicking a goal.
And did you leave goal of the year on the table yesterday?
I might have, yeah, definitely.
All right, well, you're playing for this today. You won't win that, but you are playing for the best prize pack in the business. This is
the end of the year prize.
Ergo Pro Smart, delivery and installation included. This is the best bed in the world.
Astronauts.
Temper mattresses. You go to 0 G's where astronauts take off. Jace Nicholas and the team out there. Very nice man, Jace. You paid full price, TJ. That's very good. Temper, the Ergo Smart. Plus, you sleep well all night with the pillows, the mattress and the doona, and then you play in the day. The elite golf clubs from our top mates at Callaway, along with a custom fitting at Callaway headquarters. Total price $15,000. Unbelievable prize pack.
Josh Gibcus, that could be yours.
Oh, hope so.
And it could be yours. Okay, that's the end of year prize. All right, who's going to go first? Now, you said that Josh has got to go first.
Yeah, I reckon Josh.
I'm happy to go first.
Okay, good. So 5 off each hand. You know the rules. Oh, look at Llordo in position.
Yeah, Damo's ready too. Scores right.
7.
Moves to 7. Oh, 17.
Not bad.
Oh, 27. Oh, 34.
There is something special happening here.
41. So we're on world record pace at the moment. So if he does that again, Brett Delidio, 79.
Bretty.
All right, Josh, come on.
7.
7. 14.
7.
Ooh, 21. Very close. Nice. 28.
7.
I've not seen your... And
Oh,
7.
35. So this is high quality handballing.
Okay.
Very good.
Josh Weddle.
How are you on your left?
Whittle?
Yeah. Left hand?
Weddle.
We'll find out.
Yeah, left hand?
Yes, left hand. 37. 48.
7.
55.
Not bad.
Give us a 10.
7.
62.
Oh, no.
Ooh, 67.
Welcome to my world.
That's it. 74. So that is 74 to Weddle.
You are
And now
stiff.
Gibcus needs 32 to win. 42.
As in Josh.
40. 5. Tone, throw the ball,
A
mate.
bit more heat. Oh, sorry.
40.
Yes.
Now we're
50.
talking.
3 more.
57.
Oh, that's good. 7.
64. This for a draw. 71. 74 to 71. The Hawks get up by 3.
Wow, that was a good contest.
Yeah, very good.
contest. Now, before we go, big 24 hours coming up for the Hawthorn Football Club on Tuesday.
Yes, there is. 24-hour marathon, phone telethon, I think. And so every bid that anyone bids in for the Dingley facility coming up, then it will be matched by 4. So if you put $50 in, $200 to Dingley. So
nice.
Hopefully everyone gets in.
How much are you going to put in?
Well, I don't barrack for Hawthorn. If it was a Collingwood appeal-a-thon, I might chuck in $5 or something. But anyway, no, those facilities at Dingley. You've been out there?
No, I haven't been to Dingley. No.
Has anyone been out there?
I've been past.
Unbelievable. So money put to a very, very good cause in creating probably the best sporting complex in Australia. All right, well done, Josh. Josh, thanks for coming in, mate. That wraps it up for this edition of the Sunday Footy Show. Whatever you're doing for the remainder of the day, enjoy.
And may the sun shine on you today. Have a great day, everybody.
You look good, no?
He's back. He's back.